Welcome back to lunch. Sponsored today by Premion. Premion has been supporting us for publishing and and conferences. We appreciate that support. Just before we get Justin Gutschmidt up here, I hope I didn't mispronounce that. All the activities are on, as far as I know. Those people who were out in the outside roundtable, I mean, they were sitting in the sun. It was hot. But, you know, we're hoping the front stays off to the west. We'll see what happens. It's going to be cold tonight. Yes, and so, and we're not outside, but we're. Yeah, but dress warm. It's supposed to be down to like 35 or something by the late in the evening. So be warned. But now we're going to hear from Justin. He's the head of sales strategy for Premion, a valued sponsor of MediaPost's events and publishing. He's going to talk to you about connected TV and OTT. Justin, come on up.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. All right, so this has been a great event so far. Just want to thank MediaPost for organizing such a great event. It's been fun to discover so many new brands myself. Met a great guy named Dan with Buddy Nutrition. Where's Dan? I've now got my new personalized protein powder on the way, which is great. I've learned today about this great new dog food for my dog. So I've got dog food coming from Brett and the farmer's dog, which is great. And then last night I had a long conversation with a good guy named Eric over at Beard Brand, and been truly inspired to grow out a 7-inch beard. So I'm now in day 2 of my quest for what he calls my natural face. So looking forward to that. Thank you, Eric. So we're going to talk a little bit today about why CTV and OTT is truly the new customer acquisition channel for D2C brands. So it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time in the world of television. And I'm excited about it because there's so many new great shows to watch. There's honestly more great professionally produced content than ever. And the big disruptor in this space has really been OTT. You have now choices of watching television wherever, whenever, on any device, on any service. And you're really customizing the plan that works for you. It's the personalization that many of your brands are truly focused on accomplishing, right? Delivering to me what works for me. And that's what OTT has done in the television space. And so this is an exciting time for television. But this world of changing television and providing a personalized approach has truly been the disruptor. And really, many would say that OTT is the DTC of television, because it's providing now a very direct-to-consumer approach in how I receive my television. And with now over a third of all viewing happening in television over the top, brands are moving investment in a large way. And as they're shifting money and as they're starting to invest, it's become an undeniable expansion that they're trying to figure out. So a quick show of hands, who is currently investing in OTT or looking to invest in OTT? Okay, so a pretty good number of you. And for those that are looking to invest, one of the things that I would suggest is that this is a very complex space, and it's important to work with somebody that's helping you navigate through that space. Premion is been around since 2016, when OTT was not a word that anyone even knew. This wasn't a term that people were familiar with, and in fact, some people today are still figuring out what OTT stands for. Well, it stands for over the top, and in 2016, when we launched, we had a vision of truly delivering premium quality content to audiences at scale. And we have now run tens of thousands of campaigns in all 210 DMAs and been able to help advertisers reach targeted audiences in truly premium content. And so I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about the evolution, what's happening in the space, and why this is so powerful for DTC brands. So one of the reasons that so many brands in direct consumer specifically are leaning in to the OTT space is because of the convergence between digital media and traditional media. You truly have the opportunity to provide that big screen experience to targeted digital audiences that you can't traditionally have achieved in traditional television. This is the precision that marketers in D2C are looking for. They want to understand the exact audiences that they're reaching and eliminate the waste that they have in broad forms of advertising. And through that more targeted approach, they want to be able to measure the audience. And for the first time ever in television, you can now accomplish that through OTT. So, the power of OTT audiences with DTC. So what we're seeing is that it's not just the convergence of digital targeting paired with traditional television, but this is also a more effective way to resonate with an audience. We see that 82% of DTC shoppers are taking action after seeing an ad. So many would say, well, why is this? Well, there's a lot of reasons for it, but the most important is that it's a very engaged audience. This is not passive viewing, and this is also not silent viewing. One of the things that's a drawback of a lot of social media is the fact that when you're actually consuming those ads, you actually have to produce them knowing your audience is going to hear them in mute, right? You're not going to actually hear the message through social media. So audiences in DTC are reacting in a big way because the messages that they weren't able to hear before and see are now coming through on a big screen in a very productive way. So we're seeing a great blend of digital targeting, digital measurement, with a very effective result for the audiences. But more than anything is the alignment of the DTC audience with the OTT audience. Many of you are focused on reaching a millennial and Gen Z audience because of the behaviors that they take in buying and exploring new forms of products. Well, that is the OTT audience's core. I think Chris talked yesterday about the fact that this has now gone mainstream. There's no shortage of 45+ individuals that are watching OTT. But the core of OTT are the millennial and Gen Z audiences that are cord cutters, cord nevers, and they're not watching any other television that's out there. 2 times more than any other form of television. So this audience is truly in alignment with DTC brands. So the reason that so many DTC brands are moving in this direction is because this is their target audience outside of the additional forms of targeting that you can layer upon it. The other trend that we're seeing in the direct-to-consumer space is that many brands are now launching new retail locations. I think we heard this morning about the test location in New York. We heard about Casper, and they're looking to have 200 locations now across the United States. The retail trend in direct consumer is taking what used to be purely a digital storefront and now offering it at a local level. And that's exciting because obviously a lot of brands want to grow to that level, but more than anything is the opportunity to start marketing geographically, the opportunity to start focusing on exactly where your audience is, not just on a scatter approach across the United States, hoping that you see the result. You may have a new launch of a store that you need to concentrate advertising around that area, and previously we're only able to achieve that through digital. You can now have the capability with connected television to deliver in those pockets across the country and make sure that you're aligning with the areas that you have both retail stores and digital storefronts. So one of the great examples of this is a client that we worked with in the direct consumer space. It was an online luxury goods retailer. And one of the things that they were challenged with was achieving brand awareness while trying to avoid the waste that they were getting from a national campaign. They were reaching audiences that weren't correct for their brand. They were reaching audiences that weren't in the geographic areas that they wanted to. And in order to accomplish this, we worked with them on a 10-market campaign that was very focused for them on reaching a luxury intending audience of high-income females aged 18 to 49. Now, these individuals were then optimized across certain days of the week and served connected television ads that inspired them to take action. And what's powerful about taking action is our ability to measure that action. Because now, again, television is no longer about just serving and answering a survey. We're actually able to measure the connection of delivery to website attribution. So what we observed was that 95% of all the commercials that we served were 100% completed in full. That's powerful. Again, you're all very familiar with Facebook. Anyone know Facebook's completion rate? Like percent of how much you have to finish? Like 3 seconds of the video is a completed view on Facebook, right? That's not a completion to me. I didn't complete that whole great creative that you guys had worked to produce. In OTT, a completed view is the full 30 seconds. So these are audiences that sat through a full 30 seconds, audio on message that showed the full story of this DTC brand, which is the real setback of other forms of digital. Is I've heard today about really powerful stories that each of you had in how you created your brand and what you do with your brand to make it unique and different and personalized. That story doesn't always get to come through in other forms of media. And so why DTC brands are looking to OTT is to be able to tell this full story. And this is what this luxury retailer did. So to be able to have completions of 95% was a very powerful metric that helped them achieve this result. 95% were delivered on a connected television, being the big screen in the house. There is a difference in consumption when you're looking at a big screen versus a mobile phone. Our platform specifically leans towards connected TV, but it's an important thing to look at, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But 95% delivered to a connected TV, and it ended up being over 250,000 website visits in 1 month. 250,000 visits in 1 month that delivered at less than a 53-cent cost per site visit. So to this retailer, this was a very effective way to drive traffic to their website, to drive results, and to measure a television campaign that previously was wasteful, not targeted, and not achieving the result that they wanted. So how did we do that? Well, this is a little bit more about Premium. We focus on a 4-pillar approach that focuses on premium content, audience targeting, reach, and scale with measured results. And the last piece is incredibly important to all of you, measured results. So we take premium content and we define that by professionally produced content that's been specifically curated from our platform. We don't operate in open exchanges. We don't operate in a biddable world. And so we focus on actually vetting each of our publishers, understanding the content that they're delivering, and then working with them to deliver ads at scale. We have access to over 125 publishers, and publishers in the OTT world are the brands that you know from television. This is Discovery and Fox and ESPN. These are the quality publishers that we have been working with in television for all these years that are now accessible to advertisers through OTT. So we deliver this premium content to the targeted audiences, at scale in all 210 DMAs. And we pair that with the capability to have true attributable results through a device craft technology and automatic content recognition that allows us to really measure if people took action. So did they go to a website? Did they walk into a store? Did they download an app? And these are measurements that all of you are looking for from your marketing that are possible now in OTT. So a few pieces of advice as you're looking to now invest in the OTT space. How should you build a winning plan that focuses on the importance of what's unique and different about advertising this space? Well, number one, understand that you've heard many people talk about OTT. That term sounds like it's just interchanged, that if you have OTT, you all have the same stuff. And I will tell you that first and foremost, stop there. If you think that just because I said that I have OTT, that I have the exact same OTT as everyone else that said that they have OTT, that's your first mistake. OTT is the type of content. It's like saying that you have mobile inventory. Well, just because you have mobile inventory doesn't mean that all mobile inventory is equal, right? If I have a social platform, it doesn't mean that I have Facebook. So it's important first and foremost to understand that there are differences in OTT, and you need to vet that first and foremost. You need to understand not only what type of content you're going to be getting, because it changes the overall engagement of the audience, right? And it changes, based on the results that you're going to end up seeing from your advertising. So understand the content, understand the source of that content, because there's different forms of getting that content from publishers. And so understanding the world of programmatic and how it plays a role here is very important. There are ways to access inventory that's much more biddable, much more remnant, and those forms of accessing inventory are going to change your results. So understand the risks that you may have in that space with fraud, and work with somebody who's focused on giving you true quality, not just the word OTT. The second is to really understand the ad experience and what's important about producing a positive ad experience. I heard from Brett earlier just about his importance on retaining customers and what it takes to deliver a really good customer experience, because it's easy to acquire, but it's really hard to keep. Well, the same holds true for this. If you're focused on a good customer experience, make sure you're focused on that in the OTT space, because frequency can kill your customer experience. Who's ever seen an ad go run back to back? Pretty much everyone in this room. So first of all, glad you're all watching OTT. But even more so is that's a bad customer experience, and that comes from working with people that are not frequency capping these campaigns. So all the work you did to put in a really great OTT campaign that's gonna reach these targeted audiences, you could be losing 2 people for every 1 person you're gaining. You could be offending everyone with your repetitive ads that are not properly frequency capped across platforms. So please be aware of this. Another thing to consider is the overall co-viewing experience of CTV. So we threw out the word CTV, hoping you all know what we're talking about. Again, CTV is the living room television, the big screen that you're watching on. OTT could be delivered on a mobile phone or desktop. But we focus on CTV for the reason that it delivers a more engaging experience. You're sitting on the couch, and guess what? You traditionally have somebody else there in the room watching with you. 93% of the time, there's a chance that somebody else is sitting on that couch watching that TV. Well, what I like to refer to this is this is the BOGO of OTT, right? This is the buy one, get one of OTT. You get the capability to buy 1 impression, and you probably got 2. Because OTT is sold at a CPM level, meaning you're buying 1 impression. When you're getting CTV delivery, you're traditionally getting more than 1 person. So it's something to be focused on as you're looking to reach broader audiences and get the BOGO effect. The fourth item is reaching audiences that are very targeted through the advancements in OTT. Now, not every partner offers these things, but I want to make sure that you're aware that we offer these types of things, so this is something you can be looking for in your strategy to find the right audience. Spoke to somebody last night who said that she had identified 540 different types of audiences and personas through her brand. I said, wow, that's incredible. I don't know if we can develop that many, but the opportunity to really rein in the right audience and serve ads is possible through really quality third-party data that is then aligned with a device graph to serve to the right audience. The device graph sounds like a confusing word to some that are not familiar, but in essence, a device graph gives a clear map of that household, because the TV doesn't tell you who's in that room, but the mobile phone does. And so if you don't connect those dots properly, you don't actually know who's sitting in that room watching. So make sure you're paying attention to the quality of the device graph. And then secondly, first-party data has become very powerful for DTC brands, because most of you have been collecting emails, phone numbers, right? First-party data on audiences since your inception. That was the whole business methodology is, okay, how do we leverage this data to have a better relationship with our customers and then target them properly? So a platform like ours, taking the capability to actually deliver with first-party data and finding those audiences or finding audiences that look like those audiences can be very, very powerful in the DTC space. Number 5, probably the most important, is at the end of the day of this delivery, if it doesn't work, why do we do it? You're able to measure it now. And this is what's so powerful for the direct consumer brands that are focused on results and outcomes-based advertising. Having the capability to measure how did my campaign perform is now table stakes in any DTC brand. What we do to understand the consumption of the actual commercial delivered to a household and then measure that through multi-touch attribution to website visits or in-store attribution is really powerful. And this is what brands are coming to us for, is because they want to be able to connect these dots. They want the big screen experience delivered at the point of consumption with an engaging experience that they can measure and understand that it's driving results. So the key takeaways for today are really just that CTV is now, again, a highly engaging mainstream opportunity for brands to reach engaged audiences with the digital precision that you have been using across social media and Google and other forms of digital marketing for years. It offers these capabilities that hopefully are helping you reach the results that you want. But it's important to thoroughly vet the providers that you're working with. It's important to understand that not everyone is created equal. It's important to understand that not all OTT is created equal. And so please make sure you're asking the right questions. Understand the type of inventory and targeting and execution capabilities that could be offered. And lastly, work with somebody that has trusted in this space, because there are a lot of people that have moved into it quickly, and there are a lot of shortcuts that they've taken to move into this space. And so as it's evolved very fast, you're looking to catch up with it. You're looking to move those dollars. Make sure that you're doing it in the right way with providers that have been trusted and produced results. That's what I have for you for lunch. I appreciate your time. I want to quickly introduce Sherry Armatrading. Stand up, Sherry. So Sherry's our wonderful senior regional director in Atlanta. Came out today. I'll be around all afternoon and part of tomorrow. Love to answer questions for you. So please stop me in the hall, ask me questions. We pride ourselves on education. We pride ourselves in working through with clients, what they're really trying to accomplish in this space, because it's not about really pushing this until you understand the goals that they have and how we can align with those goals. So please stop me. Let me know how I can help.
All right, Justin. Great job. Thank you very much. So like Justin says, grab these guys if you have questions, and you're going to be around tonight and tomorrow as well?
Yep, I'll be around.
Great. Well, thank you again. Big round of applause for Justin. Thanks, man. That was great. I'm stuck in the CT.